dropped the microphone into this stuff. I'm sorry. I've decided that I'm going to eat at every restaurant on Disney property, but free will isn't nearly as fun, so let's spin the wheel. Now, I know I'm not showing you much of it, but I don't know if you've noticed the shirt that I'm wearing. That's right. It's my wheel and my slogan, I have merch. With the help of TeePublic, I have released 2 t-shirt designs that are also available in mugs, tote bags, stickers, pins, a couple more varieties that you can buy using the link in my bio. There's this one, and I also have a front and back design. It would mean a lot to me if you went and checked that out. And special thanks to TeePublic, and especially the employee that reached out to me, Becky. I appreciate you so much. Couldn't have happened without you. Alright, we are doing another table service episode. It's about time. Let's see where we're gonna go for episode 4. Here we going. Okay. It's a resort. This wheel is very partial to the resorts, I suppose. But let's see if we can go anywhere cool. Alright, once again, we have a lot of table service options at the resort. There's a crazy amount. So let's give it a shuffle, and let's spin and see where it lands. Let's see. Somewhere good. Oh, it buffered there for a second. Oh, is it gonna stop? The Flying Fish. That's at the Boardwalk, right? Is it seafood or is it just called that? I don't know. We'll find out. So, Flying Fish is a table service restaurant at the Boardwalk Resort. It opened in 1995, and at the time, it went by the name Flying Fish Cafe. And fitting in a bit better with the boardwalk, it had a very circusy Coney Island theme. However, in 2016, it went under renovation, reopened as just Flying Fish, and had much more of an upscale theme. All the circus vibes were completely taken away. Flying Fish is only open for dinner. It opens at 5 and closes at 9:30. And it is gonna be, once again, a signature dining location. This means that the vibe of the restaurant is a little bit classier and the food is gonna be a little bit pricier. You'll see that we went to this dinner in dresses because they request that you dress just a little bit fancier than you would for your average meal. I'll include a screenshot of what Disney asks you wear from the My Disney Experience app, but essentially they just don't want you in t-shirts and ripped up jeans. They want you to try just a little bit more than that. With that being said, they won't refuse to serve you if you are in a t-shirt. I saw plenty of people dressed in regular theme park attire and they were having a grand time. But I think it's exciting to dress up and go to a fancy meal, so if you go here, I would recommend going all out and dressing for the event. So, let's go to the boardwalk for my first time at Flying Fish. Alright, we've arrived at the boardwalk. We've arrived at Flying Fish. We're dressed in our very best. I will maybe insert a video of us in our dresses because it is a signature dining location, so it does have that dress code. I do highly recommend getting a reservation for this one because right now it is about 7 o'clock on a Tuesday and the walk-up list is 45 minutes long. Whoa! So if you're interested in going here, hop onto the My Disney Experience app, get your reservation. You can make them 60 days in advance, and you can cancel all the way up to 2 hours in advance. It doesn't hurt at all as long as you cancel before 2 hours in advance. And you guarantee yourself a table. We got a 7:20 reservation, so we're going to check in now and get going. Update, the walk-up list went up. For a party of 4, it is now an hour. So get your reservations, people. Now, Flying Fish is included in the Disney dining plan, but just like Tiffin's, each meal here is going to cost you 2 dining service credits. And let's get ranking. Category 1, theming and seating. All right, so we sat down. We ordered. The theme in here, honestly, even though it's a signature restaurant, like it feels classy, but it doesn't feel like overwhelmingly classy because sometimes in classy restaurants I get nervous because I'm not a super classy person, but I don't feel very nervous in here, which is good on the theme. But it also looks really nice in here. I really like the flying fish on the ceiling. Those are fun. I think the theme is really nice. I don't really know what more to say. Maybe I'll collect my thoughts later when I'm not in the fancy restaurant, but I think it's nice in here. I like it. Now I would also like to throw a quick shout out to the silverware here. It looks like a mermaid tail, and I love that. Now I will say that as nice as the restaurant is, I don't think it has a very present theme. Now, I don't think that's always a problem. This is still a very nice restaurant to be in. Not everything needs big, grand, in-your-face theming to be an enjoyable restaurant. I know that. But at the same time, the theme of this place truly just feels like nice restaurant. Call me immature, but I like my Disney restaurants to have just a little bit of theme, to make it feel like I'm eating at some place that's a little bit more than your average restaurant I could find off property. Sometimes when you can go to Disney and find theming that's just a little bit more exciting or interesting, I kind of want to opt to do that instead. So in comparison, it just makes the theme that is simply nice restaurant seem less impressive. Now, while I don't find the theme to be particularly interesting, I do still find it nice. And like I said, I do appreciate that it's still a welcoming environment even though it's a fancy environment, which is a hard line to ride. It is still a very nice place to be in, so I'll give credit where credit is due and give it a 7 out of 10. Now, category 2, food. Now, it should surprise no one that Flying Fish does serve seafood. And as I said earlier, because this is a signature dining location, this seafood is going to be a bit pricier than some other places you might be used to. I looked at the menu. I think as an appetizer, I'm going to get the lobster bisque. I hear a lot of people saying good things about it. Emily's with me. She doesn't like lobster bisque, so that's going to be all me. And then for my entree, I think I'm going to go for the red snapper. Again, another one that I hear a lot of people talking about, so I'm really, really excited to try it. It's like wrapped in potato. It seems really good. For dessert, we're tossing between a lot of the options, to be honest, aren't we? Or did we decide? I think there's one that's called, like Florida Sunset or something like that. I think that's what we're leaning towards, but I don't know. We'll see what we feel in the moment after eating. Fun fact, I don't even actually technically think I understand what the Florida Sunset is, but I know it has citrusy flavors, and I'm a big fan of citrusy flavors, so I'm taking a chance here. I'm taking a shot in the dark and hoping that it sticks. Now, before we get into what I'm eating, let's talk about what your kids can eat here. Kids can choose from 1 of these entrees and 2 of these sides. And chicken noodle soup and a romaine salad are available as appetizers, but they're a la carte, so you'll have to pay separately. And can I just add how funny I think it is that red snapper is on the kids' meal? What kind of kid is gonna look at all these options, pasta, chicken, and say, "Mommy, I want the red snapper." Alright, little Jimmy, what do you want to eat? I think I will have the red snapper with the apple juice pairing, please. Hey, no hate if your kid is one of those kids that wants the red snapper, but I just think it's a little silly. Now, they do start off your meal here with some complimentary bread. This particular bread is a potato and chive bread from a local Orlando bakery, and the butter is a house-made parsley butter. Alright, they do give you bread as a starter, no matter what, it's included. This is potato and chive bread with a parsley butter. I'm so excited for this, it's warm. Let's see. That's some pretty good bread. I don't know that I taste any of like the potato and the chive flavors, but it is some really good bread. The butter is really nice, and it's a really nice starter to your meal. You don't even have to order a starter to get anything as like an appetizer. And bread is always good. Bread is good no matter what, so win. I like it. Now, I will say this is just a personal preference thing. I don't think the bread was anything spectacular. I mean, it was free, but overall, I think I do prefer the flavor profile of rolls, so I just kind of wish they were rolls. But that's a personal nitpick. Now, for the appetizer, I did get the lobster bisque, all to myself because Emily doesn't like seafood. Alright, we got our appetizer super quick, might I add, which is really cool. I got the lobster bisque. I love lobster bisque, so let's give this a try. That is so delicious. That flavor is so good. It is very lobstery. There's chunks of lobster in here too, see? Ooh, and the lobster is so tasty. I think it's buttered too. I love that. It's so creamy. It's so delicious. This is maybe some of the best lobster bisque I've ever had. I'm going there. I am. Exquisite. 10 out of 10. Amazing start. For my entree, I did get the potato wrapped red snapper, which is a red snapper wrapped in fried potatoes and served with a leek fondue. and a red wine reduction. All right, now I got the red snapper. It's wrapped in like a potato. What do you see here? Oh, I got nervous. I dropped the microphone into this stuff. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna try my red snapper and put this down for safety. That's really good. The fish has a nice flavor. I really like the potato casing around it. I think it adds a little something extra. I think it's like a fondue. I want to say like a leek fondue, but I'll check on that around the side. It's really, really good. I like it quite a bit. Sometimes I'm picky about fish, but this is really good. I like it a lot. I will say the potato around it keeps like flaking off, which makes it a little bit difficult to eat, especially in a restaurant where you're supposed to like have etiquette. And I don't feel very etiquette when I'm like struggling to get both the fish and the potato on my fork. So that's like my one critique on it. But the potato tastes good, so I honestly have just been like having them separately and like dipping it into the fondue. So good, so tasty. That's like my only critique on it. It's great. Now, while it's not super fancy and etiquette to say, I will say the potato wrapped around it did kind of remind me of potato chips, and I thought that was super yummy. I will give just a heads up. I know there's a lot going on in this dish that isn't fish related with the fondue and the potato, but if you don't like fish, this dish won't make you like fish. That potato and the fondue is tasty, but it's not pulling enough weight to disguise the taste of the fish. I just want to give you that heads up so that you're not thinking this dish is potato forward, because it's not. Now, because Emily does not like seafood, she went for the filet mignon. This is served with a truffle risotto, mushrooms, broccolini, and a perigodine sauce. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Now, I've mentioned before, I'm not a big fan of steak. It's a texture thing. So this review is going to be very Emily forward. Take it away, Emily.
Okay, so I got the steak. I did think it was really good. It's definitely one of the softest steaks that I've ever had. You know, it's not like the kind of steak you're going to get at the Texas Roadhouse and you're chewing and you're chewing and you're chewing for like 5 minutes. I got a medium rare, so that helped, obviously. And it was really good, very flavorful. Now, I think my favorite part of the meal was probably the risotto. I just really liked that you could taste that truffle flavor quite a bit. Oh, the broccolini. I thought the broccolini was a little bit salty. I didn't end up eating that much of it. It was good, but it was a little bit salty. It was, I think, a bit too much for me. So yeah, that was my meal, and I did really like it. I don't like seafood, so I was kind of limited to the steak, and it was a good steak.
Typically, I don't like steak, but Emily said I might like it because it's not very chewy, so let me try it. See, it does have a really, really good flavor. I just think in general, steak is always just going to be a little bit too chewy for me. I'm a baby. I'm just a little baby. I can't chew for that long. But it does have an amazing flavor. It is really, really good. I am really excited to try the risotto, though. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really can taste the truffle in there. Really present, and the mushrooms are really good too. That's amazing. I could just have a bowl of that risotto. Put the risotto on the menu. Come on, what are you guys doing? For dessert, they do offer you a selection of not only desserts, but also dessert cocktails and wines. For the actual dessert, we did go for the Florida Sunset. Our waiter did recommend this unprompted, so we took that as a sign to order it. It's essentially a citrus mousse with, I believe, a vanilla broth. Alright, we got the Florida Sunset. This is coming from a glowing review from the waiter. He said it's his favorite thing. I'm excited. It looks beautiful. It looks great. Seems very light. Let's see. That is really good. It is very light. It has a really nice orangey, like citrus flavor. I really like the broth that's on the side too. Like, it's very subtle, but it adds quite a bit of flavor. It's like a vanilla-y flavor mixed in with the citrus. I really like it. It's a nice light dessert. You know how I like light desserts? It comes with fruit on the side. That's fun. I'm a huge fan of this. I think that is great if you prefer like fruited desserts as opposed to heavy chocolatey desserts like me. Now, lastly, I did go for one of those dessert cocktails. I got the peanut butter freeze, which features Kahlua, Bailey's Irish Cream, a banana liqueur, creme de cacao liqueur, and of course, peanut butter. I did also get a dessert cocktail. This is the peanut butter freeze. Is that what it's called? Give me a straw. I don't know if I need a straw with it or if I'm supposed to sip it. We're gonna find out in a second. Let's give it a shot. I think I am supposed to use a straw. I feel like I'm getting like a peanut butter mustache going on. Goodness, that's so good. You can't even taste the alcohol in it. It just tastes like peanut butter, like slightly boozy frozen peanut butter. And it's so good because I'm a big peanut butter fan, so I love it. It's got like Bailey's in it. Amazing. It's for sure a dessert cocktail. Like it's on that menu for a reason. But I wouldn't have it with dinner. But gosh, this is so good. I can't recommend this enough. This and the lobster bisque are like my big recommendations, I think. Okay, I tried it with the straw. It does taste a little bit more boozy with the straw because I think a lot of the booze falls to the ground. But it's still, the majority of the taste is peanut butter. Delicious peanut butter, a little bit of chocolate in there, just a teeny tiny bit of booze. A little strong. So good. I love it. My final thoughts on the food. I think this place is really good. All the food that I had was really good. Again, my favorite thing was the lobster bisque and the martini, or the drink, whatever it's called. If it's not a martini, whoops. The peanut butter freeze. But yeah, the food here was all really good. It certainly felt at that classy level that the price tag promises, which is nice. If you don't like seafood, there's not much for you there other than steak. So if you don't like seafood or steak, you're screwed. Don't come here. But if you're a seafood fan, I think this is a really great, really nice choice, especially for like a night out or like celebrating something. Overall, I do think I found the food here to be pretty good. Better than average, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it completely blew me away. So I think I'm gonna settle at an 8 out of 10 for this one. Real quick, category 3, value. Alright guys, value is a little no bueno. I know you've been looking at those prices as I've been posting them. It is no secret that signature dining restaurants are expensive. Flying fish is expensive. $58 for a red snapper, pretty expensive. It's safe to say that this isn't a meal that most people can afford to have regularly. However, I do know that there are way more expensive restaurants to come, and I gotta leave room for those guys to get like the 1 out of 5. It is shockingly just a little bit more affordable than some of the other signature dining restaurants, believe it or not. So I will give it a 3 out of 5 on value. Lastly, did I discover something? Would I choose to eat here over the choices I usually make at Disney resorts? It's so expensive that I can't see myself doing it particularly often, so I don't know how often I'll be back. But I don't know, if I'm like celebrating something and want to have a really nice dinner, it's definitely a contender. Because it was very nice and there's some other things on the menu that I think I'd really like to try. So I don't think I'll be back often, but I could definitely be back. I could see it, and I do recommend it. So Flying Fish clocks in at an 18 out of 25. I think right now I'm going to put it in 3rd out of 4th place. Above Beaches and Cream, but below Sebastian's Bistro. If the theme were a little bit more interesting, I could see it taking an edge. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and send it to someone who you think might like it. But we'll see what's next.